Hi, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Thursday, March 7th, basketball slate. We've got a ton of basketball to get into today. College and NBA, kind of a not a huge day in the NBA, but missed a ladder challenge last night on Holmgren. Needed one more three-pointer out of Holmgren for a huge payday on that one, but we'll get back to this today on this one. We'll start off with college basketball. College basketball was okay yesterday, a little bit to the positive side, but it could have been a little bit better if we had a few teams show up. It is that time of the year, though. Conference tournaments for the smaller conferences getting underway. And we're going to play one of these games early as there's basketball even going on currently as we're cutting this, so we do like Belmont today, minus the 13.5 going against Valparaiso. First round of that conference tournament. Belmont, one of the better teams in that conference, but should get an easy cruise win today over Valparaiso. So Belmont minus 7.5 first half, minus 13.5 for the game. Belmont minus 7.5 first half, minus 13.5 for the game. Next game up for us, get to a 7 o'clock Eastern time game here. Is going to be Wisconsin and Rutgers. And I'll be honest with you, Wisconsin has played horribly over the last few months. You remember this team was ranked like top 5 not too long ago. They're out of the rankings. They've been getting beat sideways. Here's the thing, though. Rutgers, this game was in New Jersey at Rutgers. We would play Rutgers here, but it's not. They are so different on the road here. So we will lay the points with Wisconsin. We did get it at 10. You can get it at 9.5 some shops. Looked like maybe a little juicy, but still get it there. Wisconsin minus 5.5 first half, minus 10 for the game. One more time, Wisconsin minus 5.5 first half, minus 10 for the game. UAB Temple. Temple is god awful, is the analysis of this matchup. UAB quite a bit better, we'll put it that way, in this particular game here. I know UAB's leading 7.5 on the road. We're not scared of that number whatsoever when it comes to that one. So we will take UAB in this matchup here. Let's make some money with this, shall we? So let's see here. I do apologize. Of course, we get computer issues going on right at the time we're doing the show here. So UAB, we will take minus. And this line has adjusted quite a bit here. So UAB was a 3-point favorite. All of a sudden now at 7.5. Is that right? Yeah, the line's moved to 7.5. But we do like UAB minus 1.5 first half, minus 3 for the game. One more time, UAB minus 1.5 first half, minus 3 for the game. Next game up for us. Going to be Wright State as soon as we can find it here on the list. Wright State, Northern Kentucky. Northern Kentucky has been decent at home, but absolutely pitiful on the road. Wright State, one of the better teams in this conference. We'll lay the 7.5 with Wright State. We got it at 7, but I'd still lay the 7.5. Like that number there. Wright State minus 4 first half, minus 7 for the game. One more time, Wright State minus 4 first half, minus 7 for the game. Okay, now we'll get to some Pac-12 action, soon to be probably Big 12 action, or whatever conference they end up going to here, kind of all over the place here a little bit. Colorado going to Oregon. So one of the last matchups for these teams is Colorado's headed to the Big 12, Oregon to the Big 10. Colorado, bubble team right at the moment, going to Oregon, 2.5-point dog, total around 150.5. We do like Colorado in this particular matchup. You can get them at 3 at some spots. We like the number 3, a little bit better than 2.5. So we'll take Colorado plus 1.5 first half, plus 3 for the game. One more time, Colorado plus 1.5 first half, plus 3 for the game. Next game up, we're going to be on the conference tournament game, Milwaukee at Green Bay. I'm not quite sure why Green Bay is not a bigger favorite here. Expected this line to be 3.5 against Milwaukee. Milwaukee's had some wins, but towards the bottom of the conference, like IUPUI and some of these other teams. We like Green Bay here, -0.5 first half, -1 for the game. Green Bay -0.5 first half and -1 for the game in that one. More Pac-12 conference action coming up for you. Washington traveling to Washington State, in-state rivalry game. Washington State is the better team here. They have had some nice wins. They beat Arizona in Tucson. USC came out. They knocked out USC. They've had some solid wins. The reason why they're basically a top 20 team in the country. Only laying 6.5 here. If it wasn't an in-state rival and the same record and same resume, I think it'd be closer to 8.5. So we'll take advantage of the points. We really like them in the first half if we're going to play this right. Washington State -3.5 in the first half, -6.5 for the game. One more time, Washington State -3.5 first half and -6.5 for the game. Next game up, another Pac-12 matchup. Arizona traveling to LA to play UCLA. Arizona 8.5-point favorite. And Arizona has struggled on the road, folks. I'm not going to lie, in Pac-12 conference. They're trying to make a run here. I think if they win out, including the Pac-12 conference, maybe possibly a 1, probably a 2 seed there. But a team that has with as much offensive firepower as they can put together in a decent defense, this team has a possibility to go to the Final Four. UCLA is not going anywhere. They were god-awful for a good stretch of the season. They've kind of bounced back and played somewhat respectable as of late, but we got to lay this 8.5 with Arizona here. Arizona -4.5 first half, -8.5 for the game. One more time, Arizona -4.5 first half, -8 for the game. Next game up is going to be, Arizona State traveling to LA as well. This time to play USC, going USC -9.5. One of the top NBA prospects in the country, Isaiah Collier, going there. And Arizona State is one of the worst teams in the Pac-12 and one of the worst teams on the road in the country. So what do? You bet USC, and you figure out a way to cover this 10-point number. So USC -5.5 first half, -9.5 for the game. One more time, USC -5.5 first half and -9.5 for the game. And the last college basketball game we are on is another Pac-12 game, 9 o'clock out here in Phoenix, 11 o'clock Eastern. Utah, one of the surprises of the Pac-12, they played really well this season. They've been solid basketball, home and on the road, and been covering games as well. 7.5-point favorite, traveling to Corvallis and Oregon State there. We do like Utah here. Like I said, we just like the fact they've been consistent all season long. You can bank on them to show up. Now, is there a possibility to get beat? It's college basketball. There's always a possibility, trust me. But we do like Utah in this particular spot. So Utah -4 first half, -7.5 for the game. One more time in that one, Utah over Oregon State, -4 first half, -7.5 for the game. Then we'll get into the NBA slate. Looks like we've got, 7 games going on tonight. In the NBA, some big news. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be out. Left knee meniscus problems. Could be out for the rest of the season for the T-Wolves. That's kind of a big blow. I don't know. We expect it. Now maybe, how do I put this? So when there's injury news like this, it doesn't seem like it's the first game out after the injury. It's normally the second game. So the T-Wolves getting 1.5 at the Pacers. Total at 227.5. You're probably not going to see a bigger total line for a T-Wolves game, as they do keep the scoring down on this one. But the T-Wolves if we had this game on a neutral floor, when we think the line would be, I don't know, T-Wolves -5. So you're telling me home court's worth 6.5, 7? I don't see it in this one. Halliburton, until he gets it figured out, it's been a little bit of a struggle for the Pacers. Since the Siakam trade and then trading out Buddy Hield, that offense just looks a little bit different. It's not as spread out. It's a little bit more congested in the middle. When you don't have the spacing, sometimes that really hurts your offensive numbers. I think it's really hurt, to be really honest, I think it's really hurt Halliburton as well. Doesn't seem to get a lot of open looks from 3. And the assist numbers are not quite where they were either. So in this one here, we got to like the T-Wolves here. And like I said, I think the Pacers are their teams are going in opposite directions. The T-Wolves fighting for a number one spot. I think that's going to be a little bit harder with Big Cat out. The one thing I think it will do is open up some more shots for Anthony Edwards, which needed to happen anyway. Maybe he's a little bit more aggressive now, as he's going to be. Well, he's been the team's leading scorer anyway, but I think he's just a little bit more aggressive. Needs to have the ball a little bit more in his hands, create a few more shots, which I think is a good thing for the T-Wolves. So T-Wolves money line first quarter, plus a half third quarter, plus a half first half, plus 2 for the game. Anthony Edwards 30 plus points, 35 plus points, 3 plus threes, 4 plus threes, 5 plus threes, over 40.5 par. And then we also like Jaden McDaniels, their defensive stopper, over 10.5 points. We stayed away from the Gobert props as we're getting closer to 17 points and 15 rebounds. I think that's a great night for Gobert. So betting over that, I think you're taking quite a bit of risk. And there wasn't like it was big juice in your favor where you're getting like maybe plus 150 or something on that one. We've normally loved Gobert, but in this case not. We stayed away from the blocks as well, as the Pacers do take a ton of threes. So might not be a lot of opportunities for Gobert to get some block shots. I don't know if he's going to play increased minutes either, but this team also runs up and down like mad crazy, the Pacers do, which means Gobert is going to be trailing quite a bit on this one. So blocks, I think, are going to be down. Rebounds, they get a lot of longer rebounds with Indianapolis, with the Pacers, just because of the volume of threes. So we'll stay away from Gobert there, but we normally love Gobert with the T-Wolves as he's been really profitable for us all season long. But we do like AE tonight. He's stung us definitely more than once all season long, but we just think with this injury of Big Cat being out that he's going to play a big role. So T-Wolves money line first quarter, plus a half third quarter, plus a half first half, and plus 2 for the game. Anthony Edwards, 30 plus points, 35 plus points, 3 plus threes, 4 plus threes, and 5 plus threes. And Anthony Edwards over 40.5 par. And then throw in Jaden McDaniels as well, over 10.5 points. Next game up on the schedule, Nets at the Pistons in Detroit. Detroit, 2.5-point home dog. I think they have to be a dog here due to record. But if you've watched the Nets lately, I don't know what the hell they're doing, to be really honest. 216 total in this one. We might come back and play the over in this particular matchup. I don't think either team presents a big deal defensively for either side. So possibly some scoring there. Cade Cunningham, though, has been on a roll. He had one blip since the All-Star break, but other than that, he has been 25 and 4 threes and a bunch of assists ever since the All-Star break. So we're just going to go with player props so far in this game. But we're on Cunningham again, over 21.5 points. 25 plus points, 2 plus threes, 3 plus threes, and 4 plus threes, and over 33.5 par. Asur Thompson, 7 plus rebounds, 8 plus rebounds. Also on the Pistons. Claxton, 2 plus blocks, 3 plus blocks. And Dennis Schroeder, one of my least favorite players in the NBA, over 2.5 turnovers. He is a dribble machine. Like I've mentioned this in multiple shows about the Nets. When the ball is moving, this team looks ridiculously good. When there's a lot of dribbling going on, like with Cam Thomas, with Dennis Schroeder, they don't. I mean, Miles Bridges barely gets any shots off. He doesn't really get in the rhythm. Cam Johnson's out again tonight, looks like. And then you got Cam Thomas who's out. I don't know what the Nets are going to do here. I really don't. Ben Simmons just got, designated out for the season. He's at the end of his contract, though. Maybe they make some plays, try to get some, try to get a star in there. I don't know if a star is going to want to go play there. I feel bad for Bridges and Cam Johnson. As I loved them on the Suns, I still love them a lot, but I just think this offense is not what they've been producing here lately with Schroeder and since Cam Thomas has been out has not been helpful. But another day. The Pistons, though, we do have hope for the future. They are trying. They are trying to win. You can tell they have fight in them, unlike the Wizards with the same record. But we'll just stay with the player props at the moment. Cade Cunningham over 21.5 points. Cunningham 25 plus points, 2 plus threes, 3 plus threes, and 4 plus threes. Also Cunningham over 33.5 par. Asur Thompson 7 plus rebounds, 8 plus rebounds. Claxton for the Nets 2 plus blocks and 3 plus blocks. And Dennis Schroeder, the dribble master of the universe, over 2.5 turnovers for the Nets. Next game up, We got the Heat at the Mavericks. So I'd almost wish this line was reversed and we're playing the game in Miami. It's been weird. So the Mavs are one of the best cover teams on the road, but at home it's been hit and miss. And it's, to be really honest, Luka is one of the most talented offensive players out in the league. There's no question about that. If he was on a team that was a top 2-3 seed right now, he'd probably be the leader for MVP. Instead, since they're fighting for a playoff spot, not necessarily in the race like SGA and Jokic, he does maybe take a few too many shots, make a few too many bad passes, and doesn't really play a ton of defense on that. Now, Kyrie, it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of hard to figure out the dynamics sometimes between those two, because Kyrie is just not a three-point shooter where he's standing around at the three-point line and let Luka do everything. Kyrie has one of the best handles in the game, and going to the rim is part of his deal. He's not a slasher, so it is a little sometimes difficult to figure out how those two are going to make it work. The one thing that has been going on is Luka's continued to get, seems like 35 plus every damn night and hit 4+ threes every night. So when you look at it that way, you're like, yeah, but does it result in wins? That's the big thing. Now, we do like the trade that they had with P.J. Washington and adding Daniel Gafford as well. Gafford, though, is probably not getting as much playing time as he should, being a little bit more experienced. We like the future of what Derek Lively can offer, but not necessarily what's going to result in wins for this team this season after they dogged out last season to stay inside the lottery and not even make the play-in game as they shut it down a couple of games early. So what do you do here? I think you got to roll with the Mavericks. I know the Heat have been strong since the All-Star break. Not denying that whatsoever, but they are dealing with so many injuries as well. Rozier's back. Really haven't seen how he's going to fit extremely well with this offense, as Jimmy Butler needs to be ball dominant for him to be successful. Duncan Robinson has shot the three ball well. A little bit more on the home than on the road, but he shot the ball well. I mean, they're just missing a lot of pieces right now. Jaime Jaquez has been a fantastic addition. They got later in the first round. Really like what you see out of him. He seems like he's going to fit that Heat culture extremely well. But we're going to roll with the Mavs here tonight and a bunch of Luka props. In fact, Luka 4+ threes is going to be our best bet on that one as well. So he's been on fire from. His percentage necessarily hasn't been fantastic, but he's taken a lot of step-back threes as well. So we'll take the Mavs -1.5 first quarter against the Heat, -2.5 first half, -4.5 for the game. Luka over 33.5 points. We're also going to roll with Luka 4+ threes, 5+ threes, and 6+ threes. Luka triple-double was +230 on FanDuel. Make sure you shop around, as I saw a lot of +180s and 190s there. It's still a triple-double, folks, and it's not Russell Westbrook that's averaging a triple-double, so it's still a big deal. Normally, the spot at home he struggles with is the rebounds, and on the road, maybe it's the assists. But expect Luka to have a triple-double. 10+ rebounds for him tonight, too, was plus money. Luka over 53.5 par. And we also like Derek Lively for 2+ blocks, and it was +185 on FanDuel, so you're getting really great odds there for him to have 2 blocks. On a guy that normally gets at least 1 block a game, to have a second and almost get 2-to-1 money on that is a great value. So one more time in this Mavs-Heat matchup, Mavs -1.5 first quarter, -2.5 first half, -4.5 for the game. Luka over 33.5 points. Luka 4+ threes, 5+ threes, and 6+ threes. Luka triple-double. Luka 10+ rebounds. Luka over 53.5 par. There was 52.5 par I saw out there. It was you're going to pay a lot more vig for it, but I think he gets to 55+ tonight, so a little bit of value there. And Derek Lively 2+ blocks. Next game up, Raptors at the Suns. This line's been 10.5 most of the day so far. Devin Booker out again for the Suns. He's going to be out probably another week. The Suns played absolutely. Well, let me put it this way: the Suns are. Let's start off with this. The Suns are the worst fourth quarter team in the league, and it's not really close. They're Their winning margin in the fourth quarter is like almost minus 15. So how can a double, even if they have a big lead, a double-digit spread here? I understand the Raptors without Scotty Barnes are not the same team. They're still an NBA team. And the Suns are not world beaters by any stretch of the imagination. Now, this is typically what the Suns do. They have a monster win against Denver in Denver and then come back home and lay an egg. This would speak highly of the Suns. When I first look at this game, I'm like, the Suns should cruise, right? But this is normally what the Suns do, is they'll have some game that they shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have beat Denver, let's be honest, and then they should take care of business here. But this is what the Suns will do. They'll go win that game as a 9.5-point dog, and then they'll come home as a 10-point favorite and figure out how to lay an egg. Now, they might still squeak out a win. I just don't think they cover the 10 number with Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant and no Booker. Nurkic has played extremely well. In fact, the 31-rebound game was something to behold. But we like the Raptors in this situation. Now, we do like some prop. We like Bradley Beal as well. To have a good game, but we'll roll with the Raptors here. So follow along here because we do have a few extra quarter bets in this one as well. So Raptors plus 3.5 first quarter, plus 3 the third quarter, plus 1.5 the fourth quarter, and plus 6 first half and plus 10 for the game. Like I mentioned, that fourth quarter, the Suns are the worst fourth quarter team in the league. Now I know we're betting this early, but if the Suns are way up or ahead 15 going into the fourth, you're not going to get plus 1.5 for the fourth quarter for the Raptors. And you got to take advantage of these spots here where it's the worst fourth quarter team in the league, so try to take advantage of it. Even if we can't somehow the Suns cover the game, a lot of times we can still cover that fourth. And then we like Emmanuel Quickley tonight, as he does cause a problem. They really don't have the perimeter defense, kind of does struggle a little bit for the Suns. So Quickley, 20-plus points, 3+ threes, 4+ threes, 5+ threes, over 32.5 par. And like I said, we like Bradley Beal tonight quite a bit as well. 20-plus points, 2+ threes, 3+ threes, and over 30.5 par. He's basically going to have to take the role of Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant takes the role of Booker on that one. So one more time in this Raptors-Suns game. Raptors plus 3.5 first quarter, plus 3 the third quarter, plus 1.5 the fourth quarter, and plus 6 for first half, and plus 10 for the game. Quickly, 20-plus points, 3+ threes, 4+ threes, 5+ threes, and Quickly over 32.5 par. Bradley Beal, 20-plus points, 2+ threes, 3+ threes, and over 30.5 par in that one there. Next game up, Celtics-Nuggets, the game of the night. Nuggets, depending on where you're looking, are either 1-point favorite, 1-point dog at home, 220.5 total. Celtics come off that meltdown against Cleveland, having a 22-point lead and giving it up in the fourth. The Celtics are fantastic in the first half, folks. First quarter, first half, they've been dominant all season long. Same problem that the Suns have. Fourth quarter seems to be the issue. They turn the ball over way too much. Drew Holiday's not necessarily running the point in the fourth as much. I don't know why. Porzingis seems to have breaks in the fourth quarter. Don't know why. Porzingis has been probably their most consistent player, but he's not the first option there. You got Tatum and Brown, but as a third wheel, so to speak, Porzingis has been extremely consistent. 20-plus points a night, a couple block shots, 5 to 7 rebounds. He's been fantastic. A few threes. But I just think Drew Holiday needs to touch the ball and run the point a little bit more in the fourth for this team to be successful. So in this matchup here, I'll be really honest with you. I can see the Nuggets winning this game, and I can see the Celtics shooting lights out and win this game. So we're going to stay away from the side and the total on this particular one here. We do like some player props. Porzingis we normally love, and we'll go back to him tonight. 20-plus points. For Porzingis. Now, his 2 3-pointer number seems to have gone away as he's consistently hitting 3 the last few games. So 3+ threes, it was plus 152 on FanDuel. Drew Holiday, though, 2+ threes. Drew Holiday over 20.5 par. Porzingis over 28.5 par. Tatum, 8+ rebounds and 4+ threes. And that was plus 140 on FanDuel for Tatum, 4+ threes. And Porzingis, 2+ blocks, which was even money, which he's been pretty good at getting to that 2 block number. So especially at even money. I know it's Jokic, but they got guys that go to the hoop. There's going to be opportunities to block somebody besides Jokic in that one. So one more time, Celtics Nuggets matchup. Player props just probably in this game period, but 20 plus points for Porzingis, 3+ threes, over 28.5 par, and 2+ blocks. Drew Holiday, 2+ threes, over 20.5 par. Tatum, 8+ rebounds, which was pretty cheap, -120. Tatum seems to be good. Normally, you're looking to get 9-10 rebounds out of Tatum, and then 4+ threes and +140 on that one as well. Next game up, Warriors, Bulls. Warriors get a huge win last night, absolutely dismantling the Bucks at home. Bulls come off a tough game with Utah, so back-to-backs for both teams. Bulls having to travel cities, obviously. Warriors favored by 8 here. The Bulls kind of have been I'm not going to lie, have been our kryptonite for most of the season here on the show. Not to their fault. It's just they're very inconsistent. It's hard to... You can ask a lot of handicappers on this one. A lot of times when they see the Bulls, they just skip the game. They might look at player props, stuff like that, but skip the game. Kobe White has been on fire for the Bulls. He has made us a ton of money here as of late. And then you've got the Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga has made us a ton of money as of late as well. The 8 numbers kind of like it's pushing, right? But we still like the Warriors here, and we like Kobe White and Kuminga and a bunch of player props. So let's get into this here. So Warriors -2.5 first quarter, -4.5 first half, -8 for the game. Kuminga over 17.5 points, over 25.5 par. Kobe White over 21.5 points. We'll also take Kobe White 4+ threes, 5+ threes, 25+ points, over 32.5 par for Kobe. Draymond Green we like as well, 1+ 3 again. He hit that again last night. We also like Draymond Green, 8+ rebounds, 10+ rebounds. Both were plus money on FanDuel. And then we've got Draymond, let's see here, over, if I can find it here, over 12.5 rebounds plus assists. So you need 13 combined rebounds and assists. Steph Curry over 2.5 turnovers. So one more time in this Warriors-Bulls matchup. Warriors -2.5 first quarter, -4.5 first half, -8 for the game. Kuminga over 17.5 points, over 25.5 par. Kobe White for the Bulls, over 21.5 points, 25+ points, 4+ threes, 5+ threes, and he's hit 5 threes like 3 games in a row, over 32.5 par. Draymond Green, 1+ 3, 8+ rebounds, 10+ rebounds, and over 12.5 rebounds plus assists. And then Steph Curry over 2.5 turnovers. Last game of the night, Kings, Spurs, no Wembanyama. This hurts my heart, as Wembanyama has been so much fun to bet on all season long. But no Wemby. So Kings come off a big win against the Lakers last night in LA. And what do we expect we're going to get out of them for a back-to-back performance? Total around 236.5. De'Aaron Fox had a big game finally again last night. We'll see if he can put back-to-back together. We think he can here against the Spurs. They don't offer a lot defensively when Wemby is in the lineup, except a lot of rim protection. But without Wemby, I just think everything's going to be wide open for the Kings to kind of run around and do as they please, so to speak. We're going to stay away from the line. We might come back and play the total here, but we do have player props that we do like in this game. So De'Aaron Fox, which we mentioned, over 27.5 points. We're probably going to go back and look at 30+ as well for Fox, but Sabonis over 21.5 points. De'Aaron Fox, 2+ threes and 3+ threes, and over 38.5 par. And Sabonis, triple-double. We found it at plus 185 on FanDuel. A lot of places were plus 180. Sabonis over 8.5 assists was plus money on FanDuel, like plus 102. Sabonis over 44.5 par. And Fox over 38.5 par. And we hope if they're going to blow them out that these two dudes are heavily involved until the final point, until they get pulled. So one more time in this Kings and Spurs matchup with no Wembanyama. We got De'Aaron Fox over 27.5 points, 2+ threes, 3+ threes, and over 38.5 par. Sabonis over 21.5 points, with no rim protection. Should be an easy shooting night for Sabonis. Triple-double for Sabonis, over 8.5 assists and over 44.5 par. Now, I mentioned this a couple times throughout the show. At the end of every episode that we do, there is a link in the comment section to our Google Sheet. This is a ledger of all of our bets. It'll say docs.google.spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. This will get you into all of our bets, and you can look at multiple sports as well. So, like we have UFC this weekend that we'll be betting on here shortly. Formula One, which we hit a couple bets last night, or I should say early this morning, on those as well. So golf going on. We've got one guy right now doing extremely well in that one. And, of course, basketball that we just went through. Also, if you're interested in baseball futures, we've placed a bunch of those bets. As baseball's coming up here, we're going to have a couple games in Korea, actually, in a couple weeks on that one to start off the season. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of bets to be placed. So you can see how we've done, like if you wanted to look like yesterday or a couple days ago, or if you want to look at the whole season as a whole, you can check that out. There's a couple years of football, a couple years of baseball, 1 year basketball on there, and then also you got the miscellaneous sport, I guess you'd call it, with golf and Formula One, UFC, stuff like that. We even had Daytona. We had quite a few bets on. So make sure you do check those out when you get some time. This is a ledger of everything. We're a volume better. So it's hard to follow and get, we have 100 plays tonight. It's hard to get all those 100 different bets. So make sure you do check that out when you get a couple moments and take a look at the ledger itself on the Google Sheets. And as always, if you can subscribe and get notifications to our YouTube channel, so we drop our bets, drop a new episode of bets, you get those first. It makes life really simple to find us once you hit that subscribe button. Turn notifications on for YouTube. And when we drop a new episode of bets, you'll get a notification to your phone or device to let you know Sports Bets for Free has dropped a new episode of bets. Match them up with your bets and give you that ton of confidence you need heading to the betting app or betting window. I do appreciate everybody's support as always and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.